A big one for me right now, Bob, is, and this is new.
Yeah.
We're dealing with the buyouts like everybody else is.
Yeah.
You know, we've got a lot of these companies coming in, whether that be PE groups or platforms or whatever it be, you know, that are coming in and purchasing a lot of the competition. So a big one for me lately has been the family owned.
Yeah. What do you say? What's the pitch? I want to hear it.
I just straight tell them, I said, hey, we're one of the very few companies left in the city that are family owned and operated. And it's funny because a lot of those guys will actually ask you questions on that.
Yeah.
You know, well, what do you mean? Well, you know, such and such down the road. And it's like, no, they've maintained the name. Yeah. But they're actually owned by a different entity at this point.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how many of them just don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
All that. Yeah.
And we're still a little bit redneck out in my woods. People like to deal with people that they know. That's a loaded question. I mean, it is. And let me tell you why I feel that way, right? Yeah. So sales is changing.
Sure.
Sales has been changing over the last 2 or 3 years. We've got a whole nother generation that has come up now that are home buyers and obviously HVAC buyers and everything else, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny, depending on who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
You know, depending on who you're dealing with generational. You'd be amazed how many furnaces I literally close right at the furnace, right? So you've got these old guys down there or older gentlemen, you know, that you're talking with and he looks at you and literally says, hey, I think you're right. We need to do something. You know, this younger generation is a little bit different.
Okay.
One is what I've noticed is options aren't always a good thing.
Interesting. Okay.
Their time is extremely valuable to them.
Right.
The younger generation, their time's extremely valuable, right?
Yeah.
So if I've spent an hour and a half, 2 hours with this guy, he's already kind of like got the cell phone out. He's kind of got the watch out.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, all right, man, hey, like you're losing me here.
Yeah.
You know? I approach that completely different.
Will you get your hands on them and look in the bids?
Yeah. No, I don't even want to see them.
Is there? Okay.
I don't care about that. I don't even care.
Yeah.
I could guarantee you 2 things.
Yeah.
They're all going to be lower.
Yeah.
And they're all going to make promises they can't keep. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right?
Right.
So a lot of guys, when they get out there and into the field, you get this bidding war that starts to go on. Yeah. And, you know, I don't care if a guy bid him $8,000. It doesn't matter. Yeah. You're going to get $8,000 worth of work. I hate to give away my secrets, Bob.
Hey, that's what we're all about here. Secret Sauce Channel. Cody, thank you so much for being here today. Greatly appreciate it. For those who haven't met you at a Certain Path Expo or training, could you share your name, your company name, where you guys are located?
Yeah, I'm Cody Kropp, and we are in Twin Falls, Idaho, and I work for Home Heating and Air Conditioning down there.
Very good. What do you do for them?
I am their sales guy.
You are their sales guy.
Project manager.
Project manager. Very good. And you've been there a long time. How many years has it been?
So 15 years.
15 years. And we're talking for a great reason because you had yet again another fantastic sales year. Time to brag. What'd you end up doing last year?
Just over 2.5 mil.
2.5. And that constitutes, in Certain Path lingo, as a crown champion, which means selling more than $1.5 million. And you've done that pretty consistently for a long time. How many years has that been?
I've technically been a crown champion 15 years.
15 years in a row. And you've said your best year has ever been what?
Right at $3 million.
Right at 3.
Just a hair over $3 million.
Yeah. And in your community, that is a lot of money.
It is.
It's a small town. Let's be honest.
Yeah, 75,000 people.
Because we get a lot of people. I interview a lot of folks that are in major metros and they sell a lot, but those price of equipment's probably double what you're selling.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think what's even more impressive is your closing ratio. You said, what was your closing ratio last month?
88.9.
88.9. And then all of last year, what was it?
I come out when it was all said and done with, I believe I was right there about 78.7.
That's very impressive. Very excited to learn what you do to get people happily on board with home.
Sure.
Before we dig into your sales process, I love to learn people's stories, how they got to where they are. So how about you? How'd you get into the trades? Like when you graduated high school, what were you thinking of doing next?
Well, I actually moved to Alaska for 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, I did in pursuit of a fishing career and followed my wife there.
Okay.
So I went there.
Are you from Idaho originally then?
I am.
Okay.
Yep, I was born and raised in Idaho.
Yeah.
Once I got to Alaska, was kind of not sure what direction I was going to go, so
Sure.
I ended up being one of the guys that everybody hates. I was working in a lube store, changing oil in a car.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure you've all experienced, you're sitting in the lobby waiting for your car to get done. Here comes a guy with an air filter telling you, hey, Bob, you got to change this air filter.
Yeah.
It needs to be changed, right?
Yeah.
So I ended up being that guy.
Okay.
And I think that's where my love of sales and my career of sales truly started to begin.
Yeah.
How
did you end up that job? Was just knew someone, answered an ad?
There was an ad in a paper, man, and I needed a job.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
I had a daughter on the way, and well, I haven't been able to stop working since. You know how that goes.
So how long were you doing that?
I did that for about 5 or 6 years.
Okay. Wow.
And actually really enjoyed it. And like I said, I worked myself into a position where rather than having to get dirty every day and actually be part of the oil changes, like I said, I was the guy that was coming in and talking to you about the differential flushes that you needed, coolant flushes, filters. That's really where my path started.
Yeah. Okay. What was next? What did you do after that?
Car sales.
Okay.
Yep. Car sales.
Yeah.
Found out I kind of had a knack for it and that I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I'm not a very good loser.
Yeah.
And I think that drove me pretty hard to stay in that sales side, and the compensation was fun.
Yeah.
So I went into car sales.
And this was in Alaska still?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
We remained in Alaska. I actually worked for a company called 30M at that time.
Yeah.
Turned out to be Salesman of the Month for 17 months in a row.
Wow, nice.
So I actually relocated with them from Wasilla, Alaska, down to Twin Falls, back home to Twin Falls, Idaho.
Okay.
My dad had gotten sick with cancer, and it was time to come home and help with Mom.
Good on you. Yeah.
Anyways, made the transfer, got down here. I think I was Salesman of the Month there for almost 24 months.
Wow.
Straight, and just kind of went from there.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed the car business.
Yeah. Well, what made you get out of it then?
I climbed the ladder.
Yeah.
Ended up as a sales manager, onto a desk manager. I didn't enjoy that side so much.
Right.
I actually much prefer the customer relations side of it.
Sure.
And decided it was just time for a new path.
Yeah. So you're like, would you start looking for ads again, or how?
No, believe it or not, I was working with Tracy, good friend of mine, which is the brother to Christy and JR that own home heating and air conditioning.
Yeah.
And had kind of sold with him for a little while, and he goes, dude, I don't know what it is. He's like, you got to call my sister. They're looking for a sales guy, and that's how my career into HVAC went. I would love to tell you it was this huge fancy story, but it wasn't. it really was like, hey, you really ought to go talk to him. And Christy gave me a call and says, hey, we would like to bring you on. And
what was that? Well, let's slow down. What was that interview like? Because they're really neat people.
They're amazing people.
Yeah.
And the interview was like you were talking to your mom and dad.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was. At this time, I was fairly young.
Yeah.
Sat down with them, and it was just kind of, what can we do to help you? Here's what you could do to help us.
Yeah.
And she told me, I don't know, 100 times, that, hey, we're a family here. When we bring you in, we're a family, and it couldn't have been more true.
Yeah. Were you nervous at all, shifting industry?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you were really successful in that car sales. Yeah.
I was going from something that I knew very well to something I had no clue about at all.
Right.
Before that, I knew we had a furnace and an air conditioning in a house. That was about it.
Yeah.
So I was really nervous
for sure
getting into that.
Yeah. What was your training process like? How they onboard you? How they get you trained up?
Well, JR at that time, we were fairly small. So when I actually onboarded, I was lucky enough to spend time with Christy and JR one-on-one.
Yeah.
JR actually was the one that put me in a truck with him, and at that time JR was running some sales calls, and he brought me along.
Yeah.
And it was either our first call or our second call we had gotten out to.
Yeah.
And we were trying to sell a new furnace. JR was talking with her about a new furnace.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just kind of slipped into my sales mode, and next thing I know, I was walking out with a sale. I think it was on our first call or second call.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized it's really not about the equipment. It's not about any of that stuff.
Right.
It's right back to what I knew, right?
Yeah.
It's just dealing with people.
Yeah.
And I think we made it back to the shop, and JR says, okay, you're ready. Here's your keys. And off I went, and been on ever since.
Hey there, just want to jump in for a moment and tell you a little about my company, CertainPath. If you're watching this, it's because you're looking for top-notch HVAC sales content. I'm really glad you're here. Cody's got some amazing insights to share. After all, he's a 15-time HVAC sales crown champion. But if you're serious about taking your sales performance to the next level, or if you're an owner focused on boosting revenue while maximizing profit, it takes more than just good ideas. It takes training. And that's what CertainPath delivers. Actually, we offer training and so much more. This interview was recorded at our National Expo before our annual awards gala. We celebrated hundreds of crown champions just like Cody, many of whom train with CertainPath. They use our sales systems, they use our model, they use our training. Over the past 25 years, CertainPath has helped thousands of high-performing salespeople and techs in HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and roofing. Today, we're proud to have more than 1,200 contractor member companies in our network. So, if you want a faster track to sales success or business success, CertainPath is the way. It all starts with a discovery call with one of my teammates, Mike or Will. Just head to mycertainpath.com and book a time that works for you. Or give us a call at 214-453-1591. Let us put your sales process and your business on a certain path to success with CertainPath. Now back to the show.
To perform at your level so consistently, like I was telling you before we hit record, I've been doing this a long time. I've talked to a lot of top guys. There's a lot of burnout factor.
There is.
And how do you not get burnt out? How are you able to perform year after year? What do you think? How are you able to do it?
Well, like I told you, I had a daughter.
Yeah.
And daughters are really expensive. I haven't been able to quit since.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No, all jokes aside, it is tough.
Yeah.
You know, and there are days that are a lot harder than other days, right?
Yeah.
And you know, those thoughts come in like, man, what am I doing? You know,
right.
beating my head against the wall like
Because you're in the truck by yourself, right?
Yeah, at all times, you know, but really you got to take a breath. You got to reset.
Yeah.
I've got an extremely supportive company.
Yeah.
Which I think is huge, right?
Yeah.
If I don't come back with the sell, it's not like, hey, why didn't you come back with that sell? It's like, you know what? I get it. We'll jump on the next one.
Yeah.
And I think that helps a lot, right?
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I believe that a good sales guy, there's nobody that'll ever be harder on him than him.
Right.
You know, there's nothing like driving back to the shop after you just failed to get a sale
right.
and you beat the tar out of yourself,
yeah.
you know, all the way home.
Yeah.
And so to get back and have Christy or JR or Evan or any of our guys, you know, say, hey, man, that was a tough one, but
yeah.
you know what, we got another one tomorrow.
Right.
I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
And then I think it takes a really, really strong woman to stand behind you too, right?
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, she gets all my baggage. You know, I go home at night. Well, how was your day? It was terrible.
Right.
Well, why was it terrible? Because I didn't sell anything
yeah.
today. You know, and for her to be behind you and tell you, you know, it's okay.
That's great.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We're going to be all right either way.
Yeah.
So I've had a lot of support in that. I think that's a lot of the difference between burnout and not burnout.
Just have that support system. Yeah.
And then I still really enjoy what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I still get excited when a call comes in.
Yeah.
I still get excited when I get in my truck and I turn on my ACDC and
nice little pump up music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I'm pulling up to a front door. I'm still excited to meet
cool.
them folks, and
cool.
I think that you got to have that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So.
How do you train? What do you do for training to pour into yourself? Do you do it? Do you role play at the shop, or you just got it down? Do you feel comfortable now?
I used to do more of it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. I used to spend more time role playing. Hey, what's my face look like when I say this, right? Or what you know, how does this hit? How does this come off? And so I used to do a lot more role play.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't know if it's good or bad.
Yeah.
I've kind of gotten away from that, right? And I think that's because it is fairly natural.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're doing it 15 years at a high level, right?
Yeah, it's fairly natural now.
Yeah.
I spend very little time on the actual sale itself, and
Right.
quite a bit of time on the people.
Yeah.
You know, and I try to enjoy that time.
Yeah.
And
I think that makes a difference. If you don't look like you're rushing through that.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, we don't rush nothing.
Yeah.
And our company really tries hard not to put us in that situation.
Right.
Where we feel like we're rushed.
Right.
If I spend 2 hours with a guy talking about elk hunting in the Colorados, that's what I do.
Yeah, that's part of this. That's part of the secret sauce.
It
right?
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in a home that you can't relate to, right?
Right.
I mean, there's always something.
Yeah, for sure. I want to dig into the process a little bit, if we can do that. So when you're getting, what kind of research do you do on customers before you even get in the truck to go out? Do you do anything, or do you just you do none? You'd rather go in and not prejudge it. Yeah.
I want to know an address and a phone number.
Okay,
That's really what I want.
Yeah.
I have personally found that the more you educate yourself on those folks, the more you start to make predetermined,
Yeah.
Assumptions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And assumptions are not good.
Right.
Hey, how much money do they make? Where do they live? How big is their house?
Right.
We joke sometimes because I had sold a $30,000 fit system to somebody that was living in a manufactured home in a trailer park.
Yeah.
And the guy, when I was walking out, he says, "Well, my house is only worth 20 grand. I just put 30 grand into it." And
Yeah.
But he was happy about it, and
Yeah.
we got him exactly what he wanted and what he needed.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to know a lot. I don't want to know enough to make any judgments before I'm there.
Yeah. But you know that they're a club member or not?
I do know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do know that. In fact, Dan, our primary call taker, is really good about letting us know, hey, you're going to run into this.
Yeah.
Which I do think is an important piece of information that you need to know.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to get down to the end of a presentation and then have them throw in, "Oh, by the way, I'm a club member,"
Right.
And it's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. You know a little bit about us then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you said you get in the car and you listen to some ACDC. Anything else you do to get your mind right, or you just rather is that your time to meditate in a way, right?
You got to stop at the gas station, get one of them hot dogs and a Diet Mountain Dew, and turn a little music on. And my big thing is I like to have about 10 minutes, 15 minutes of just kind of me before I go in, right? So even if I see a call scheduled for, say, 9:30, typically I'll leave the shop at 9 because I want that 15 minutes or whatever just to make sure that my mind is where it is.
Yeah.
I don't want to still be thinking about our morning meeting. I don't want to still be thinking about, my son did this morning, or my wife this, or whatever.
Right.
I don't want those thoughts. So I try to take that 15 to 30 minutes to really make sure that my mind frame is focused back on some things.
Right.
Another thing that I like to do is I like to kind of breeze through my price book a little bit again.
Yep.
Refresh every morning.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's been a habit of mine.
Yeah.
Kind of get in there, hey, what are we kind of looking at per this, per that,
right.
And I don't want to sound undereducated when I'm speaking.
For
to
sure,
them.
for sure. All right, you get your me time, and you're like, okay, it's time for the show.
Time to go.
So you pull up to the house, right? You don't want to spend too much time piddling in the car. You go up, knock,
right. Yeah,
turn,
right out of the truck.
Right.
Because we've all had that one guy, shows up at your front door, and you're looking out the window going, what is he doing out there, right?
Yeah.
And that's always an awkward way to start anything.
For sure.
So I want to be able, don't park in the driveway.
Yep.
You never know when Mrs. is coming home or whatever that is.
Yep.
Park out on the front street.
Right.
I also like to park where my truck is visible.
Right.
So
good branding.
So well, and I think it makes it more comfortable, right? I think if you park around the corner, you show up at the front door, they're kind of like, wow, where'd he come from?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I like to park where they can obviously see the truck well, see me approaching the door if possible. And then, game on.
Yeah. So how do you start, again, knock, they open the door. Well, what's the next step? How do you start building rapport? How do you start taking control of that?
Yeah, so I we get the shoebies on.
Yep.
They're big.
Yep.
Sometimes that's a conversation starter
in
its own, right? Oh, you don't have to put those on. Hey, we're in a lot of homes every day. We just want to make sure that we're not bringing anything in yours.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I appreciate that, you know, and sometimes that can turn into
It's a value builder right there,
yeah. I think assessment right away is important, right?
Yeah.
I like to find a place to put my books, you know, whatever I have in my hands that I'm carrying, I right away out of the gate, I like to ask them, hey, is it okay if I set these here?
Yeah.
Get those out of my hands.
Right.
You know, I want to be.
Why is that? Because you want to be.
I want to be engaged with them.
Yeah.
I don't want to, you know, look like I'm just carrying around a briefcase waiting to pop this thing open like it's the nuclear briefcase, you know.
Right.
Like, I want to get that out of my hands.
Yeah.
Not only that, like I had said, I want to spend the first 30 minutes, I don't care if it's an hour, on everything but the sale.
Yeah.
Everything but the sale.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, a sales guy, first thing you do is you go in, you start assessing.
Right.
Right. What's the pictures on the wall?
Yeah.
What are we, you know, what was in the driveway?
Yeah.
Was it an old classic car? Was it a lifted 4x4 truck?
Right.
You enter the house. Does the guy got mounts on the wall? I mean, is this guy a hunter?
Yeah.
Is he a golfer? You know?
Yeah.
And just try to be just educated enough in all of it.
Yeah.
To carry a conversation on.
Right.
Right.
Right. Are you always able to find something?
Always.
Okay, you always find something.
I've never not found anything to get on somewhat level ground with somebody.
How do you bring it up without being like, some people are like, I don't like doing that because I feel like I'm being creepy. How do you naturally show that you're inquisitive about what they are without sounding like you're being, you know, I don't know, scoping out the house?
Well, like for me, I'm an avid hunter.
Okay.
An avid fisherman.
Yeah.
You know, and just for an example, if I walk in and he's got mule deer hanging on his wall, you know, the first thing I'll ask him is, wow, that's a nice buck. Where'd that come from?
Yeah.
And man, it's amazing how quick they'll lead you into, well, 1989, I was in this, you know, part of the woods, and this, I shot this buck, and man, we had a hard time getting him out. And, and that's great. Listen to that guy's story, man. He's good possibility nobody's asked him about that deer for 25 years.
That's right.
And he's proud of it.
Yeah.
You know, whether you realize it or not, he's proud of it, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think what people don't realize is, even I think today more than ever, people like to talk about themselves, and very rarely do people ask about other people. When someone shows they're inquisitive about you, they light up, and then their endorphins are up, right?
Yeah.
And immediately it's a positive experience.
Like I had said, I'm a car guy, right? I was in the car business for a lot of years, so you know, I don't care if they got a Porsche, a G-Wagon, or an old '89 Ford pickup in the driveway.
Yeah.
You know, I'll ask them, hey, how do you like that Ford?
Yeah.
You know, that was one of the good ones. You know, you can't get those no more. You know, like there's always something. Right.
Right. So we're doing this warm up, right? We're building some rapport. You're like, okay, I like Cody. What's the next step in your process? What do you like to do?
I really like, you know, when I make that transition to where now I feel like I'm putting the sales hat on, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going that transition from, you know, let's get to know him, let's get comfortable with him, let's get him set down. Now we're going to kind of start to transition into that sales side. Now,
so you want to sit down somewhere?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I want to start asking questions though at this time, right? So what do you got going on?
Okay.
You know, any hot spots, cold spots?
Yeah.
Are you a fan of the thermostat? Are you not? Any rooms that are struggling for air? You know, I want to start having a conversation.
Yeah.
I don't want to grill him.
Yeah. No.
But at the same time, I want to start having a conversation of, you know, what's your reasoning for calling me out here today? And once we've made it through that, and I've started to kind of get the idea of what the guy's looking for, the idea of what problems he's having, then I'll start to move on towards the equipment. You know, hey, do you mind if we take a minute, go look at the furnace? You know, and always take them with you.
Yeah. Real quick, before you get to that, when you're doing that, you're asking open-ended questions. Anything about like asthma, allergies, open-ended IAQ? Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they'll tell you that, right? Yeah. When you let them know, hey, you know, I've got filtration systems that'll help cut down on the dust. I've got, you know, just the ton of products that you got, you know, and let them ask questions, right?
Right.
Throw it out there, be like, hey, you know, I've got a new filtration system that eliminates a ton of dust. Is that something you'd be interested in? Let him.
So you'll bring up the idea of that equipment even early on.
Absolutely.
Just to see what. Yeah. Okay, very good. You know, if you're dealing with a customer who doesn't know you, doesn't know home, maybe they just moved to the area or whatever, and how do you bring up how you're different, or do you do any kind of credibility statement, as we call it, early on? Like, because you've been asking these questions about them and what they've got going on, but do you share anything about you at that point, or do you hold that for later?
A lot.
Okay.
A lot. Through this whole process, the old adage, you're always closing, right?
Yeah.
From the moment you walk into the house, you're attempting to drop certain things to let them know about you, right?
Yeah.
I'll throw out the licensed and bonded and insured.
Yeah.
Another big one for us, is things like marijuana and things like that are not legal in our state, right?
Yeah.
So I'll quickly let them know that, hey, we're drug tested, criminal background checked. Those things seem to really interest people.
Yeah.
At least in our older generation that we deal with a lot in our state. And just let them know that the people coming into their house are, have these qualifications and have been assessed by the state, and we're good to go.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to touch on about you and home before you continue this system?
So a big one for me right now, Bob, is, and this is new.
Yeah.
We're dealing with the buyouts like everybody else is.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of these companies coming in, whether that be PE groups or platforms or whatever it be, that are coming in and purchasing a lot of the competition. So a big one for me lately has been the family owned.
Yeah. What do you say? What's the pitch? I want to hear it.
I just straight tell them, I said, hey, we're one of the very few companies left in the city that are family owned and operated. And it's funny because a lot of those guys will actually ask you questions on that.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? Well, such and such down the road. And it's like, no, they've maintained the name.
Yeah.
But they're actually owned by a different entity at this point.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how many of them just don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And we're still a little bit redneck out in my woods. People like to deal with people that they know.
Yeah, yeah.
And home heating tries really hard to do a lot of stuff in the community.
Yeah.
So we're known in the community.
Right.
When we do the parades and we do the parties and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's been really big for me when I can
Right.
say, hey, we're still family owned and operated. It's been a big selling point.
Do you bring up how long you've been there?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
That's so valuable to me.
I don't tell them that I'm a sales guy, obviously, because that kills you right out of the gate, But I let them know, hey, I've been a project manager for home heating, air conditioning for 15 years.
Yeah.
If they weren't good people, I wouldn't be here, And so, absolutely. I bring that up. And I think that time, gives them a little bit of confidence in you as well, right?
Right. Do you bring up at that point any idea of like planting a seed on financing or what the cost of this project's going to be or anything like that? You don't want to get
I don't do that till the end.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't do that until we start getting a little bit further down.
Yeah.
And the reason is because I like to use it as a de-escalation tool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when I sit a guy down at a table, we're going through everything, and let's say I just hit the guy at $21,000,
Yeah.
and he's trying really hard to go, what am I going to do? I can't afford $21,000.
Right.
That's when I really like to use the financing to de-escalate that situation.
Got it.
We used to call it throwing them on the ceiling, and now you want to bring them down,
Yeah.
right? And,
Yeah.
So when I can convert $21,000 into $250 a month, you can almost see that stress start to wear off of. Oh,
Sure.
you've got payments. Yeah,
Sure.
I do. I have several options, right?
Yeah.
And
okay.
So that works well for me.
Yeah, and that's very good. But that's only at the end then. It's not that early process.
I mainly only use that at the end. Like I said, I like
Cool.
to use it. I have yet in 15 years to tell somebody a price and have them go, oh, well, that's great. That's perfect.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
go.
great. I thought it was more, I have yet to see that.
Yeah.
I hear people say it happens, but I haven't seen it yet, right? So,
how do you handle a situation where it's like, the one-legger, right? Like, oh, man, I thought both decision makers were going to be there. Do you bring that up? Who else is making a choice in this project?
I do, and actually I get a lot of help on that side, right?
Okay.
So my call, I'm only as good as my front and back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And my call takers are really phenomenal.
Yeah.
And our primary call taker, she's really good about trying to get it scheduled at the time that both can be there.
Yeah.
So she does really good at that.
Yeah.
Obviously, during harvest season and some stuff, it's just really hard to get everybody together.
Yeah.
At that time is what I find is a lot of them are out driving tractors or out whatever.
Yeah.
Most of them can pull over for 10 or 15 minutes and, hey, can we get him on, Zoom, or can we get him on, iPhone? Is there any way we can get him present?
Right.
And more than once, I've propped him up against the salt shaker, and like, hey, you hear us? Everything's good. Yeah, and I'll do my presentation just like,
That's great.
just like anything.
Yeah.
If there's just no way to make it happen,
Yeah.
I don't leave a price.
Yeah.
It's one of the only instances in a house that I won't leave a price.
Yeah.
Typically is what I'll do is I'll say, hey, I believe that I've got all the information I need now to help you along with your decision.
Yeah.
Is there any way that I could swing back by, say, early morning, later evening, Saturday, whatever it's going to take, that I could sit down with both of you? I says, you're going to have questions. There's a lot of options.
Yeah. I like
and
it.
try to reset that appointment without leaving too much.
Hey there, want to jump in for just a moment to talk about Certain Path, my company. If you're watching this and you're concerned about how private equity is changing the game in the home services industry, I get it. Cody brought up something that's happening everywhere. Big national companies buying up local contractors and turning them into numbers on a spreadsheet. But here's the thing, Cody still outsells them. Why? Because he's trained. He has a process. He has support. That's what we do at Certain Path. We give you the systems, the coaching, and the community you need to beat the PE-backed competition. We help independent contractors compete with and win against companies with deep pockets every day. They're not just surviving next to the PE groups, they are thriving. They're closing more, running more profitable calls, and building businesses they actually want to own. So if you want to stay independent and competitive in today's industry, come find a faster way to success with Certain Path. It starts with a discovery call. Go to mycertainpath.com and book a time that works for you, or call 214-453-1591. Take control of your future. Put your business on a certain path to success with Certain Path. Now, let's get back to the show.
I like you've got that calm, cool approach too. I'm sure because people are nervous.
Sure.
They know you're a sales guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've got that right approach. Like, okay, we can do that.
And it usually works.
Yeah.
Usually they'll take the time, especially if you've just spent that amount of time with them. Right.
Talked about their elk hunting from you.
Yeah, talking about elk hunting, or even if you've gained that excitement a little bit, and say the wife now, like, hey, I can eliminate some of your dust. I won't promise you never have to dust again.
Yeah.
But what if I could eliminate
a
good portion of it? Get you more comfortable. How's your utility bills been? We all know the wives are the bosses anyways.
Yeah.
But they want to be confirmed on it, right?
For sure. Yeah.
It's that's typically what I'll do when I leave a home. I'll leave with as little as I feel like I can.
Yeah, for sure. When before you go to the talking equipment, you've asked a lot of open-ended questions, right? Mm-hmm. Will you ultimately ask them, like, what do they value most? Like their comfort, or is it price the biggest thing, or I don't know. What do you get into that?
That's something I want to know before we've even kind of tied this up and start going to the furnace.
Yeah.
And when I was saying, I really like to, when I switch gears and take off that friend hat and now put on the sales hat.
Yes.
Those are questions that I'm really
there.
trying to push through, right?
Okay,
hey, so what's going on with this?
Right.
How have your bills been?
Right.
Do you feel like what you're paying is reasonable? What are you hoping to see in a new system? I mean, you've had this system in your home for 20 years. What are the things you like about this system? What are the things you don't like?
Right.
Right. Okay, great. There's things we can add to the new system that take care of the negatives with this system.
Right.
Those are hopefully things that I already know.
Yeah. And you're paying, I'm sure the whole time you're just paying attention to body language, tone.
Always.
Are they leaning in? Or are they like,
I want the relaxed. I want to be having a conversation.
Yeah.
I don't want them to feel threatened in the home. I definitely don't want them to feel like, hey, hurry up and get the heck out of here. I got things to do, right?
Yeah. I was going to say, that you bring up, that's a good, I'm glad you brought that up. Will you go, hey, this is going to take 90 minutes. Do you set that expectation early on so you're not getting bounced out of there?
So right out of the door, I'll ask them, hey, is it where I'm parked okay?
Right.
Yep, that's fine. this is going to take a little bit of time for us to go all through this, make sure we get all your questions answered, make sure that we get what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Am I here at a good time?
Yeah.
You know, and if they say, yep, then game on.
Right. Okay.
I have had a few of them, you get to the door and you're all game-faced, and she says, well, actually, I got to leave in 15 minutes, 20 minutes to go get the kids.
Yeah.
Right? And again, that's when you go back and say, hey, you know what, this could take a couple hours.
Yeah.
Would there be a better time?
Right.
And reset that appointment.
Sure.
Don't go in and try to rush the appointment. Don't go in and try to spend 15 minutes and go, hey, it's going to be $25,999 signed here.
Yeah.
You're going to regret that.
Yep, for sure. Okay, you again, we've been talking in the home. Now you go to the furnace. You guys basements, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like I'm used to basements. And you're having this conversation about their system, right? What do you like? What do you don't like? What else are you looking for? What else are you talking about?
So this is also a good time to start kind of experiencing a little bit with what they've told you they dislike, right?
Okay.
So, if he says, hey, I've got a far west bedroom on the corner that's not getting the air that it needs to be.
Yeah.
Well, let's look at that ductwork together. Is it a ductwork issue?
Yeah.
Let's pull that filter out. Let's look at that filter. When was the last time you changed it? I mean, could we be having airflow issues for something as silly as a filter?
Yeah.
What other issues are you having? Are we seeing any water? And we want to look for everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not plumbers, we're not electricians,
Sure.
but we're still looking for it, right?
Yeah. And you're being friendly and being helpful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how many people don't go in their crawl space, they don't go in their basements. This might be the first time they've been down there in a year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're looking for anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Water looks good, or hey, look at this water heater. It looks like we've had some leaking coming from this water heater.
Will you guys sell water heaters? Or
we
you?
do.
Yeah,
We do water heaters.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's abnormal.
Yeah.
When was the last time you had the water heater replaced?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't even know.
Yeah.
And then you kind of go into the spill of, hey, in Idaho we got extremely hard water. 10 years is about all we get out of these things.
Yeah.
And most of the time they're like, oh gosh, 10 years.
Yeah.
That thing's been down here since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking for other opportunity.
Right. Will you do like a soft close about that, or you say, hey, would you like to give you some options on that, on how to handle that, or?
That's a loaded question. I mean, it is. And let me tell you why I feel that way, right?
Yeah.
So sales is changing.
Sure.
Sales has been changing over the last 2 or 3 years. We've got a whole nother generation that has come up now that are home buyers and obviously HVAC buyers and everything else, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny, depending on who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Depending on who you're dealing with generational. You'd be amazed how many furnaces I literally close right at the furnace, right? So you've got these old guys down there or older gentlemen, that you're talking with, and he looks at you and literally says, hey, I think you're right. We need to do something. At this point, I've told him, hey, I'm doing this, I'm changing this. I've given him some options, hey, maybe you would want to look at this, maybe you'd want to look at this, and literally the guy just looks at me and says, you know what, you're right, yeah, what's it going to take to get it done? And then we go to the table, and from there on, it's nothing but numbers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, hey, you love everything that I'm saying. I'm going to do everything that I've told you I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's just getting a number that you can live with.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Which is, so that's how that goes.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many you can literally soft close right at the furnace.
Yeah.
Now this younger generation is a little bit different.
Okay.
One is what I've noticed is options aren't always a good thing.
Interesting. Okay.
Their time is extremely valuable to them.
Right.
The younger generation, their time's extremely valuable, right?
Yeah.
So if I've spent an hour and a half, 2 hours with this guy, he's already kind of like got the cell phone out. He's kind of got the watch out.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, all right, man, hey, like you're losing me here.
Yeah.
You know? I approach that completely different. So
Yeah.
I get really aggressive.
Okay.
On that side.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is now instead of going, hey, maybe you want to do this, maybe you want to do that, I'm now going, I'm going to do this,
Yeah.
and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to change this, and
Yeah.
I'm going to put this furnace in for you, and I'm going to be here Thursday to do it all.
Is right. Right.
And it's amazing.
They just want that authority almost.
Well, it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
So 9 out of 10 of them will be like, yeah, sounds good, man.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Because everybody else has come in and just flooded them.
Right.
And with the information highway today, you know,
Oh, yeah.
I don't even really know what the heck to research. I mean, you've
Right.
given me so much options at this
Right,
point, you
right,
know,
right.
that I'm lost.
Yeah.
So I found, I hate to give away my secrets, Bob. I'm
Hey,
telling you, man.
that's what we're all about here. Secret Sauce Channel.
Seriously though, is what I found is you almost need to take a little more control
That's interesting.
and kind of lead
Yeah.
certain directions.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's hard, right?
Yeah.
Because you know there's other options, but
Yeah.
sometimes they don't want to hear them.
Right.
Sometimes I think if you just tell them this is what I'm going to do,
Right.
this is when I'm going to do it,
You're the expert, right? Yeah.
and he's like, if you say that's what I need,
Yeah.
you know, and close them up,
That's great.
close them up.
Yeah. Now, do you go beyond the house and outside of the basement and looking at the furnace? Will you do any measurements, look at the air returns, any of that kind of stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all information we need to make a proper install.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like him. I love for him to still continue on with me.
Right.
But now I've taken the sales hat off, Bob, and I've thrown it on the side again.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm back to, man, where you been playing golf?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I'm back.
And you
to,
see other interests, right? You see pictures.
Yeah. So at this point, I tend to know enough about them.
Yeah.
Now I'm out of sales mode.
Right.
The guy's already told me, yeah, I think that's what we need to do.
Right.
Let's do it if that's what you're telling me.
Right.
And now I've taken sales hat off. Let's walk around the house, grabbing a tape measure, measuring stuff up, grabbing a lot of photos, and I just straight tell them, you know, hey, I don't want my install guys to come in here blind.
Right.
So I'm just going to take as many photos as I can, just so that they know what they're getting into when they come in. And he's talking my ear off, right?
Yeah.
Man, we were at Pebble Ponds golfing last month, you know, and like he's still in that mode.
Yeah.
And that's where I want him to be.
Right.
Because I want his wall down.
Yes.
I want his defenses gone.
Right.
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 So take as small of a chunk as I can. That's
Sure.
the sales portion.
Sure.
I don't want to be the sales guy before. I don't want to be the sales guy after. I
love
want to
it.
be the friend.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. So you're doing the measurements throughout the house, and it's time to go sit down, right?
Yep.
So do you find you sit next to them? Do you sit across the table?
Right across the table. From
Okay,
him.
you like
that's
across
my
the table.
spot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I like to be right across the table from them, especially when you go to do that hard close.
Yeah.
Turn the contract around, set the pin on it, shut up for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it takes for him to kind of get there. Don't speak unless spoken to.
Yeah.
You know, the first one that talks loses.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's more of a personal interaction, no different than you and I sitting here right now.
Yeah.
You get more of a personal interaction looking
Yeah.
at each other.
Sure.
Not only that, but I can read him better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'd rather be an eye roll or a tear. You
Yeah.
know, $25,000, I'm crying. You
Right,
know, whatever.
right. Yeah.
But I can actually, you know, I
Right.
think get a better read on them.
Right. In this instance, I mean, you're giving options. Not everyone is a hard close, right? You're just
Right.
doing this. You're going to do options. But before you reveal those, like, what is there anything you say beforehand? Again, to reiterate home and you, or no? At this point, you build enough rapport, you don't feel like you have to circle back.
I feel like the hour to 2 hours that we've just spent
Yeah.
going through him asking questions about home heating,
Yeah.
right? And me answering those questions, me dropping my little subtle hints, right?
Sure. Sure.
I don't go back to that until after we've reached the agreement,
Yeah.
right? And then, like on the back of our contracts, you know how they are. They've all got the agreements on the back of the contracts. You know, get that contract flipped over before he even signs. Get it flipped over. Tell him, hey, look, I put this in writing.
Yeah.
You know, like, all the guarantees. Go through them.
Yeah.
Take a minute. Go through them.
Yeah.
Put a little value to them.
Right.
You know, like the money back guarantees, you know, the warranties are big, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, this is the deal. This is a warranty. We got a 6-year unit replacement warranty. Even this is what happens during that if we
Yeah.
see it. We don't see it very often, but if we do, this is the way it plays out, you know.
Yeah.
Explain each one of those.
Right.
So that they know what they're building into, right?
Yep.
What they're getting.
Yep.
Those are the little things that you can almost guarantee the other guy didn't do, right?
Yep.
He probably hasn't taken the time to explain all of his warranties, all of his guarantees. Do that.
Right.
It's important.
100%. So you highlight those,
Uh-huh.
and then we're flipping it back over, and you got your options, right?
We're flipping back over with a pen on the contract.
Now, how do you build your options? Like, how do you differentiate your premium to the builder grade?
So I think a lot of that is reading the folks.
Yeah.
Some of it, right?
Yeah.
Is reading the folks. And, like we've been going through a little bit of a stage that's been a little interesting here lately of, well, I'm selling the home. I don't want the nicest thing because I'm selling the home. I'm not going to. Okay. Don't go to the premium system, right?
Yeah.
Let them know that, hey, this is a little bit nicer. I think the people buying the home would really appreciate this system. Not only that, but I've heard a lot of 5-year plans or 2-year plans turn into 10-year plans. So this system's really optimized that if you do stay in the home, it's really going to work well for you.
Yeah.
But if you do follow through with that buying process, they're going to love the system.
Yeah.
So that kind of all depends. Now, if I've got a homeowner that's like, we've been here 20 years, we're dying here, I'm going to the top.
Yeah.
I'm going to the top. And when I say going to the top, I mean, I'm going to a package that has IAQ built into it. I mean, we're going to do Wi-Fi thermostats. This is going to be a $26,000, $27,000 system.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to start there.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to throw them on the roof.
Yeah.
But my hope is that I've put enough value in that system.
Yeah.
Right? That when I've gone to the next system,
Yep.
the guy's going, well, wait a minute, it doesn't have this, this, and this. No, sir.
Do you say it or do you have them say it?
They say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to turn it around, and when he starts asking, well, wait a minute, that one doesn't have a modulating furnace in it. No, sir.
Yeah.
You're right. That is one of the things that we lose. We do save a little money, but we do lose X, Y, Z.
Yep.
It's amazing how many right there you stop.
Yep.
You stop.
I really wanted that. We talked about that.
So there's what happens is they lead you back the other direction.
Yeah.
They go, well, wait a minute. You explained that modulating to me. You explained that IAQ to me. Like, I really want that stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I get it. You do. I can't give them to you for free. I mean,
yeah.
So yeah, let's look back at this, and that might be a really good time to throw that financing out there, too,
Yeah.
right? Because this guy's figuring out in his head, how can I come up with $27,000?
Right, because you were telling me before we hit record, there's a lot of people in your community that the average salary or income is what, 30 something?
Yeah. So in our 100,000 people that we service, the average median income in our area with the dairies and the farms is only $36,000, right?
Yeah.
So more than once, I filled out a credit app, and literally the system that I'm selling him is darn near a year salary for somebody.
Yeah.
And
so they're going to hit that ceiling.
They do, and that's fun, right? That's when sales really kicks in, right? It's not until you've hit the objections that you're even selling anything, right? Other than that, you're just an order taker,
right?
So that's when you got to get the selling shoes on, you got to get the hat on, and say, hey, I get it, man. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for you. It's a lot of money for me. Mm-hmm. But what if I could, would you? The old adage. If I could get you everything that you want, that you just told me that you don't want to pass up, if I could get it to you at $225 a month, would you be interested?
Yeah. So you already know that number.
I already know that number, man.
Yeah.
I've
been doing it a bit.
I've been looking at it, right?
Yeah, right. And that's what the longest term one, I guess?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your long term?
10 years.
It's 10 years.
10 years. I usually do the 10-year programs.
Yeah.
I stay away from all the 12-month, 36 months, 0%, stuff like that.
You keep it simple on it.
Well, it costs you so much money.
That's right.
It costs you so much money.
I love that you think about that.
Yeah, somebody's going to pay you. Somebody's going to pay it either way, right?
Yeah.
So either I've got to have the customer absorb that cost, or we've got to absorb that cost.
Right.
We don't have the money in it to absorb the cost,
right?
And still be at our margins that we need to be at,
right?
So I stay away from all that in general.
Right.
Do a 10.99, 12.99, 10-year.
Yeah.
But their mentality changes. When you get them to the point where it's like, I can give you everything that you wanted for $225 a month.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many guys will go, oh,
right.
Wait a minute, I can swing that.
Yeah. And you touch on, if it's at a 20-year-old system, the utility savings.
Yeah, absolutely. The efficiency. That's why we've talked about a modulating furnace. We've talked about a variable drive furnace. We've talked about a 20-SEER outdoor unit, you know.
Suddenly that monthly payment becomes really maybe not much out of your pocket at all.
And that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a big one. When you look at a guy, we have a lot of heat pump systems.
Okay.
And when you look at a guy that goes out and he's telling you, hey, I'm spending $550 a month in utility bills, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, my goodness, man, that you're already paying for one.
Yeah.
But you're giving it to Idaho Power. Like, if you're going to spend this kind of money, at least use it for something for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And when you're looking at it going, hey, if I could take 20% or 25% off of your utility bill by going into this, new system, even if it covers $100 of your payment, man, we're better than we started.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're better than we started. Not to mention, you're not going to have to do this again for a long time because home heating is going to be behind you. We're going to keep this thing running as long as we can.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm sure there's always objections, right? Not always. It'd be great if there weren't, but there are.
Yeah.
But man, Cody, this is a lot of money. It's like even the bottom one. I'm only making 30-something thousand. Their cheapest option's 12 or whatever, half my.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like I should get other bids. How do you handle that? I've always been that person. I need to get 3 bids,
Sure,
right?
Sure. I think I've got a little bit different outlook on that.
Yeah.
If I get to the end of my presentation, right, and I got a guy saying, hey, I need to get other bids, or even if I have a guy say, hey, you're just too expensive, I've messed up, Bob.
Yeah.
I need to go back to square one.
Mm-hmm.
I almost need to go back out the door, take my shoebies off, knock on the door, put my shoebies back on. We need to start over because somewhere along the lines I missed something, right?
Yep.
Somewhere along the lines, I either didn't build enough value for what it is that I'm approaching this gentleman with, or 2, I maybe I didn't rub him right.
Yeah.
Did I go over something that maybe he, that he wanted to know that I didn't touch on?
Yeah.
Like, we'll get in reverse really quick at that, right?
Okay. Yep.
And I'll just straight ask him. Sometimes your best approach is to be very direct and say, you know what, we've spent a couple hours with each other at this point, Mr. Jones. What is it that seems expensive about it? Or where is it that you thought you would like to be budget-wise? You know, and try to buy yourself a start over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go back to square one. Do this all again. It's okay, man. The shop knows what you're doing. They're going to take care of the next call, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Start over again.
Right.
And figure out where you missed that.
Right.
You missed something. It's just like no different than if you're getting, and I'm sure you've seen this. You walk in, the guy's like, I got 5 bids.
Oh yeah, that was the next question.
Right. I got 5 bids.
Yep. Yep.
Well, why do you have 5 bids? Why do you have 5 bids?
Is that your first question?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what is it that you have heard that you like? What is it that you've heard that you don't like?
Interesting. Yeah.
Or what is it that you haven't heard at all?
Yeah.
For you to make an educated decision on this. Why is it taking 5 people and you still don't feel like you're in the mindset to make an educated decision? Why is that?
Yeah.
Because there's obviously something missing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it the guy that just came in and dropped down a bid, or the other guy split off? Oh, I'll send you an email. Was it, whatever that is? We find that a lot of the other companies screw up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why you're there to start with.
For sure.
I don't care about those other bids. They don't mean nothing to me. I'm just now at this point, I'm looking for that one little thing. What did they miss?
Right. And then you can target it.
Right. What did they miss? I mean, was this guy not concerned about money and he was all about energy efficiency? Was this guy, hey, he's got half of his house that just isn't comfortable?
Yeah.
And like the biggest thing to him is getting his 2 daughters' bedrooms on the west wing more comfortable.
Yeah.
Something that got skipped over, right?
Yeah.
There wasn't enough time spent on that.
Right.
And you do one or two things, right? A, you build value.
Yeah.
So when they set down an absolute idiotic bid, you're able to say, hey, but as well as I do, they weren't going to address this and this and this and this. And
will you get your hands on them and look at them?
Yeah.
The bids? Yeah.
No, I don't even want to see them.
Is there? Okay.
I don't care about that. I don't even care.
Yeah.
I could guarantee you 2 things.
Yeah.
They're all going to be lower.
Yeah.
And they're all going to make promises they can't keep. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right?
Right.
So a lot of guys, when they get out there and into the field, you get this bidding war that starts to go on.
Yeah.
And, I don't care if a guy bid him $8,000. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're going to get $8,000 worth of work. What do you want me to do? I mean,
you say that? You get $8,000?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not?
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be a reason. There's a give and take. Life's a give and take.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that at this point, Bob.
Right.
So you get a guy out here buying a brand new truck, right?
Yep.
He absolutely 100% knows, I guarantee you, if he's looking at 2 new Chevys, that one has leather and one does not have leather, guess what? He knows, no doubt.
Yeah.
That one's going to cost more.
Right.
He knows it.
Right.
But he really wants leather.
Yeah.
Why should our industry be any different?
Right.
I mean, I can get you a cloth AC power window car. It's going to cost you $12,000.
Yeah.
Or I can get you the brand new GMC 3500 with a Duramax in it.
Yeah.
But it is going to cost you this.
Right.
Right.
And you reiterate your team too, right? Hey,
man.
got top guys. They deserve top pay.
Hey there, Bob Houchin jumping in for one last time. Cody's doing a great job walking you through how he presents the HVAC sales system options, handles objections, and earns that close. And listen, that kind of salesmanship, it doesn't just happen. It takes time. It takes investment. It takes training. That's exactly what we do at CertainPath. We provide communication and sales training, not just for HVAC techs and salespeople. We have it for roofing, plumbing, electrical as well. This training isn't just sales scripts. We teach your team how to think, adapt, and win. Whether you're in front of a first-time homeowner or a seasoned bargain hunter with 3 quotes in hand, the CertainPath sales process, the one that Cody's mastered, is just a small part of the platform we offer. It also includes training and coaching and pricing tools and proven systems and buying power and more that help contractors like you grow revenue and boost profitability. So if you're ready to stop winging it in the home and start closing like a pro, come see what CertainPath can do for you. It starts with a discovery call. Go to mycertainpath.com. Book one, make it around your schedule, or call us at 214-453-1591. Let's get back to the conversation with Cody.
Let's walk people through how you talk about your team.
That's a constant.
Yeah.
That's a constant. I let them know, we're a little bit special. We still have a sheet metal shop. We still build all of our own sheet metal and stuff, and I let people know that.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to get away with a few things that a lot of companies aren't going to get away with.
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to get this ductwork a little bit higher in your walking area. My guys are phenomenal. I mean, I just brag them up all the time, right? They're certified. They're drug-free. They're criminal background check. I've got the best guys. I would put them against any installers in the nation, right?
Yeah.
And I let them know that.
Yeah.
And, these guys are consistently trained.
Yeah.
We didn't train them 20 years ago and then turn them out to the wolves, and nothing's happened since.
Yeah.
We've sent them to schools, we've sent them to programs, we've sent them, multiple places to be upbeat on this new equipment that you and I are talking about, right? This new equipment's not like the old equipment was, so we're constantly doing training. And God bless their soul, they back me up, right?
Yeah.
In their performance.
Yeah.
I've got a phenomenal group of guys, man, that I'm absolutely proud to brag about.
And you reiterate though that
Always.
comes with that comes with a cost, right?
Always.
And if they are paying charging $8,000, what kind of quality?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
like you and I had just talked a little bit ago, trades guys are really just now starting to get to the point where they're making a little bit of money, right?
Yeah.
Like they're getting paid what they're worth.
Right.
That hasn't always been the case throughout our industry.
Right.
Right. You got to let guys know that.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm paying this guy $30 an hour because he's damn good at what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the best of the best.
Yeah.
But it costs. It costs for you to have that guy.
Right.
My guy's going to show up in a uniform. He's not going to have tattoos from his earlobes to his fingernails. He's not going to, he's going to be dressed well. He's going to be here to represent. He's going to be on time. His trucks are going to be clean. He's going to have the tools that he needs.
Yep.
He's going to have the parts that he needs, and this is what he's going to do.
Yep. And you'll know when it's 0 degrees out in January that furnace is turning on.
Darn right.
Yeah.
Yeah, darn right.
A lot of people still, like if you're dealing with a married couple, you just drop that $30,000 bid on them, right? And they're just like, Cody just needs some time. Like, will you go, hey, let them talk? Will you give them like a minute to talk amongst themselves, or do you prefer to stay?
You leave, you lose.
Okay. Yeah.
You leave, you lose.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
What is it that I can help you guys discuss?
Okay. Yeah.
If you guys have questions, what is it that I can be part of your conversation to help answer those questions?
Yeah.
And it's funny because either one or the other will start to make a move, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes all of a sudden in their head where they thought they had this way out, and I'm still sitting here going, hey, what can I answer for you?
Yeah.
A lot of times the wife will look at the husband and the husband will look at the wife.
Right.
And I'm sure you've seen this before. You get the, well, what do you think? Right?
Yeah.
You've won.
Yeah.
Anytime I get the, hey, what do you think?
Yeah.
If I've done what I should have done through this whole process, the, hey, what do you think is like, yeah, sign us up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you leave, you lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once you've walked away from that table,
Right.
the odds of you getting back to that table are pretty slim.
Yeah.
Because they are going to be like, hey, let's just wait. Let's just talk about this, and you're already up, you're already moving, you've already made an approach for the vehicle.
Right.
They're going to help you get there.
Yeah.
So
When you're having this conversation, like I'm seeing how you're holding yourself now, you're very calm, you're sitting back, you're not leaning. Is that how you deliver it as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you don't want to be like in their face. Yeah.
And I'm not.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, Bob, they all put their pants on the same way I do.
Yeah.
Nobody's better than anybody.
Right.
And I guess I learned that a long time ago, so I just don't get very nervous and I don't get scared to approach somebody and talk with them.
Right.
And so I try to be just, not only that, but the more calm and collected I can keep the conversation with me and them, the less objections I'm going to get at the end. The less reservation I'm going to get to, I want that close to go smooth.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't even want them to know they've been closed.
Right. Well, that's why you just turn it around and have them sign.
Absolutely.
You're done.
Yeah.
How about those? I'm sure there's folks like Cody. I know you. You can get me $1,000 off. You can work this price a little bit. How do you handle folks that are begging for a few bucks off?
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So take something away.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you as much off as you want.
Yeah.
It's just going to cost you.
Mm-hmm.
You want $1,000 off? No problem. Hey, how about if I take this thermostat from a Wi-Fi thermostat to a standard just digital thermostat?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to eliminate X.
Yeah.
How about we get rid of the UV light? We'll just take it completely out of the equation.
Yeah.
Again, though, like I said, if you've done things right, they're going, well, wait a minute. You told me that Wi-Fi thermostat was great.
Yeah.
You're right. But unfortunately, I'm priced fair enough that at this point, anything that I lower the price on, I have to take equipment away.
Right.
I just don't have the room to throw it in.
Yeah, good for you. So you don't do that. Let me call the office kind of thing. No.
Christy and JR would never make me do that anyways.
Yeah.
They support me.
Yeah.
And that is one thing beautiful about as long as we've been, they're my best friends, my bosses, they're like parents. And I know that they've got my back 110%. So if I get into something where it's like, and you've been there, right? I'm not going to lie. You get on one of them jobs, just like, I am not letting these guys have this, right?
Yeah.
And say it does cost you $500 or $700 to make it happen. I just make it happen, right?
Yeah.
And Christy and JR are going to know,
yeah,
he wanted that one.
He wanted to win that one.
He wanted that one, But they support me 110% in that, right?
Because you're not doing it all the time.
No.
Yeah, you're not making it a crutch to
Absolutely
close.
not.
Which a lot of guys
And then
do.
you start to feel like, I got to make it up somewhere else. I got to sell an IEQ package on this one.
Yeah.
Whatever, right?
Yeah.
But they do support me in that very well.
I love it. So I sign, right? We're all happy. It's a lot of money, but I trust you. I trust your process. How do you make me, what's your post-close process, right? Because by the way, when's your install typically able to get in?
All depends. All depends on season, right? Right now we're kind of in that lull.
Yeah.
I'm getting stuff within a couple days.
Okay.
So usually pretty quick.
But if you're booked out like a week or so, how do you avoid that cancellation?
Well, for one, you got to stay in contact with them, right?
Okay.
So contact is everything.
Yep.
And I think you're a lot less likely to get a cancellation if you've touched base with them daily and let them know, hey, just want to let you know, guys are finishing this job up today. We've still got you in line. Still planning on Thursday morning. Did you need me to do anything else in the meantime to help you out? Can I bring you a heater? Can I bring you a portable cooler? What is there anything that I can help make the time easier to get to Thursday? Right. I think is where you run into issues, and we've all done it. You do the old swift close. You're out. You're gone. The office will take care of everything from here. You know, and then all of a sudden they're going 3 days later, like, man, I haven't even heard from that guy. What's going on? And I think that's where the potential of a cancellation starts to increase.
Sure.
Right? So to me, it's contact. Staying in contact with them. Keep in the loop with them, and feel like you're waiting with them.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I know, man. We're going to get there just as soon as we can because I really want to get on and get you taken care of. I know it's crucial. So just make that contact.
Yeah. Do the installers collect then, or do you?
Yes.
Okay, the installers collect.
Installers collect.
Okay.
Unless it's one of them deals, them odd deals. Hey, they weren't home when we closed up or whatever. Then I got no problem going back. and collecting at that point. But then I'd also do my follow-up calls. I like to work on the 3 rule. Wants to make sure they're happy, wants to check in with them, and wants to make sure they're going to use us again. So.
So at that point, do we ever ask for a review or a referral, anything like that?
Softly,
yeah.
Softly. I like to just let them know, hey, if you wouldn't mind taking a couple minutes of your life, doing a review, we would highly appreciate it. It's important to us, and I'll let them know, hey, it's important to us being one of the few family-owned companies left in the valley. It's important for us to have those reviews to back us up.
Yeah. I know you close a super high percentage, but there's still those people that just don't get to sign that day, right? Yep. So how often will you go back and call them and see if you can...
Again, I like to work on the 3-call rule.
Yeah.
I like to touch base with them usually next morning.
Okay.
I've got a pretty high closing rate as far as closing them in the home.
Yeah.
But I close a lot of them up on the follow-up, right? So something a little bit different about me, Bob, I'll tell you right away, is I don't send emails. Emails are death.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
Right? So if I've left and the guy's like, oh, you're just going to have to send me an email, I don't send emails.
Yeah.
I don't tell them that.
Yeah.
But I don't send emails.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I'll typically wait for that phone call.
Yeah.
When he calls the next day or the day after and goes, hey, I never received that email. Oh, you're right. You know what? Hey, I'm really busy. I'm going to take Friday, sit down, get all these emails out. I've got several people I need to get an email to. But really quick, would you mind me asking, what is it you were hoping to see in an email that we didn't cover while I was there?
That was good, yeah.
And allow them to tell you.
Right.
Well, I just want to see it in writing. That's great. Hey, would you mind if I stop by and visit you a little later this afternoon? I do have contracts that everything goes into writing. Would you mind if I just stopped by and showed you one so that you knew exactly what it is that you're signing to?
Yeah.
And close it up on that follow-up visit.
Oh, I like that. I mean, when you're in front of the face, it's way, again, that closing percentage goes up face to face.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's good.
Once you send an email, it's death.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It goes into the inbox.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gone.
Yeah.
So
kind of wrapping up, how do you stay so intentional, day in, day out, call after call? Like, let's say you just had a jerk. I'll put it nicely, a jerk. Yeah. And they're like, okay, that stunk. And now you got another call, right? Maybe it's peak season, one after another. Mm-hmm. How do you hit that reset and you go, you know what? I got my process. I just need to go.
Yeah, that's a great question, Bob. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. And like I had told you, I don't like to lose.
Right.
I am a poor loser. And I admit it.
Yeah.
We're salesmen. We're whiny as it is anyways, and hard to deal with, and we think the world revolves around us, Well,
at least you're self-aware.
Yeah, so as well. When you get told no twice, and you're just like, what in the world? Everybody loves me, right? What happened?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It really is, and I've done that, right? I've let one call dictate how I'm going to do another call.
It's human nature.
And, that call goes bad. I go into the next one, and guess what? It goes bad.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting here tripping on my lip, like pouting and whining and crying and whatever, and it's hard to take that reset.
Yeah.
And as what I found is you almost need to make that's your last call of the day.
Oh, okay.
And really take a minute, right?
Yeah.
Go home, spend a little time with your family, go to the shop. Like I said, I have a very, very supportive team. They're gonna be like, hey man, it's all right.
It's a great shop.
It's
too.
okay.
Yeah.
Dude, we get it.
Yeah.
I don't make excuses. I just tell them, you know what? I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
Like I tried. And like this dude he's just rough-nosed, man. I couldn't make it happen.
Yeah.
And you get people that support you there.
Yeah.
And you need to take a minute, reset everything out. By next morning, you need to be back in the truck, game face on, right?
Yep. What if you had to talk to Cody 16 years ago when you're first starting? What kind of advice would you give yourself on how to get? You started selling 1.5. Now you're in that 2.83 all the time. How do you speed up your learning curve? What advice would you have given yourself back then?
16-year-old Cody, I would tell him work for the right people.
Yeah.
Don't work for money. Don't work for benefits. Work for people that you love.
Yeah.
Because that was more life-changing for me than anything.
Yeah.
Being able to have people in my corner that understood when my kid got appendicitis and I was out for 13 days in a hospital and things like that, and we got flowers and cards, and I mean, my crew called me every day, right? Like, work for the right people.
Yeah.
Don't chase the dream. Just work for the right people.
Yeah, that's good stuff. What advice would you have to any sales guys here tonight? You know, this is a big fun event.
Yeah.
I'm sure you rub elbows with other top sales guys.
Yeah.
What's good advice you like to tell people on what your secret sauce is?
Don't burn yourself out.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy. You know, you see a lot of that in all sales industries. They come in, they have one good year. Hey, I did $6 million, and then you never see them again.
That's
right?
exactly
They've
right.
Completely left the industry altogether.
Yeah.
You find out they're working for the city or something.
Yeah.
Right? Don't burn yourself out, man. You're going to have a lot of time to get where you want.
Yeah.
Try your hardest, but don't go too far.
Yeah.
Don't neglect the people that are in your life.
Right.
To achieve your goal in 1 year.
Yeah.
Right. It's not a good way to go.
Right. How do you keep de-stressed like that? Like, is it just you go fishing or you go hunting and it helps?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My kids, I've got a couple boys and a girl. I got an amazing wife. Like I said, she's beyond supportive. She's my best friend. We spend time with each other, and it's funny. I can everything can just go just spending time with her.
Yeah.
I've got one 13-year-old that's maybe more avid than I am about hunting and fishing.
Yeah.
So we spend a lot of time doing that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's neat. What's it like? I mean, you've been to a lot of these shows. How nice is it to be around the Certain Path event and people, and what's that like?
You know what? When I first came, and it was so new to me, the big concrete jungle and everything going on, and it was all so new to me. And over all these years, to have people come up to me year after year, shake my hand, ask me how I'm doing.
Yeah.
I love the talks, the speeches, the conversations. One of my favorite things is being able to sit down and have a drink after all this with multiple guys that may be facing the exact same issues that you are, or successes that you're having, right? And be able to work through that and talk through it. And hey, this kind of helps, and it's a blessing.
Yeah.
It really is. Certain Path is a blessing for these contractors to be able to give them a platform to use to put so many great minds together. I mean, there's some. When you look at Gus and all these guys, there's some amazing company leaders in here.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
It really is.
Cody, thank you so much for all your time. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun.
Appreciated it.
Yeah.
The Successful Contractor podcast is part of the Certain Path family. Certain Path builds successful home service businesses and has for 25 years. We do it by providing contractors with a proven path to success, professional coaching, software solutions, and a member community of 1,000 plus strong. Doubling your sales with a 20% net profit and an inspiring company culture is all possible. Let us show you the way. With Certain Path, success is made certain. Visit www.mycertainpath.com for more information.